It's time for Blue White Illustrated 2-A-Days, where we break down two positions on the Penn State football roster. Don't forget to subscribe to Blue White Illustrated on YouTube and hit the like button. As always, we need your help to get to 500 likes. I'm Thomas Frank Carr, and this video, I gotta admit, it's gonna be pretty easy because we're shining a spotlight on the tight ends and cornerbacks. If you didn't know, they're both really, really good. More than anything, health has been the only thing holding back the Penn State tight ends from reaching superstar status. Last season, Theo Johnson missed the first part of 2022, and once he returned to the lineup, teammate Tyler Warren left with an injury of his own. Finally, midway through the season, Johnson caught fire. While offensive coordinator Mike Yurcich didn't exactly feature the tight ends every game in his offense, they were the most dangerous weapon on the team on a weekly basis. Johnson operated as the team's deep threat throughout the final half of the season and put up some absurd numbers. Johnson had a perfect passer rating on balls thrown to him. He was also near the top of college football in several categories, including yards per catch, explosive plays from tight end, and average depth of target. Between Johnson and Warren, the Penn State tight ends shredded the middle of the field against multiple opponents in 2022. With both players entering the spring with bumps and bruises, according to head coach James Franklin, the focus now shifts to the younger players at the position.
Dinkins and Cross. Dinkins is a guy who's obviously been in the program now and I think understands the expectations and the standards and has got a lot of skills to work with and has shown some really good flashes last year. Theo and Tyler Warren got some bumps and bruises. And in some ways, it's a blessing in disguise because Dinkins, Cross, and Joey and Mega are going to get a ton of reps this spring. So I think it's really valuable because in some ways we know who Theo and Tyler are. One of the things I do really like about this group is we got a chance to have more depth. Where last year, if we had an injury or two at tight end, we had to really get away from some of our packages. I think these guys are going to allow us to have the depth that we're not really worried about losing a package based on not having enough, proven, versatile tight ends.
The question for this group is who will take over for tight end Brenton Strange. The longtime starter did the dirty work of the tight end group, lining up all over the field, lead blocking, setting the edge, and catching passes underneath. He was also a consistent target on play-action passes for former starter Sean Clifford. Realistically, Warren will get the first shot at that role, but Dinkins and freshman Andrew Rappleyea are also players to watch, although Rappleyea won't arrive until after the spring. The team is also stacked for both short and long-term position depth, with players like Mega Barnwell and Joey Schlaffer most likely taking this as a redshirt year. What this means is Penn State's dominance at tight end isn't going anywhere anytime soon. What can we say about the Penn State cornerbacks? They're really, really good, and I already said that. Junior Kalen King ascends to the throne of cornerback 1 with the departure of Joey Porter Jr. While many fans know that King is good, they might not understand how good the Michigan native is. Let's just take man coverage, for example. King was targeted 32 times in man coverage last season. That's tied for 14th most in the country. Not only that, he forced an incompletion on 41% of those targets. That's second among any player with at least 20 targets in man coverage, according to PFF. Now, if all of that sounds confusing, let me put it this way. Don't throw at Kalen King. With another strong season, there's a great chance we'll be discussing King as the next first-round quarterback prospect for Penn State in the NFL draft a year from now. Opposite of King is returning starter Johnny Dixon. Dixon split reps with King last year and will likely do the same this year with transfer Storm Duck. But don't take that as a slight. Dixon has value outside of playing just boundary cornerback. The Nittany Lions defensive back is a critical piece of defensive coordinator Manny Diaz's defensive sub-packages. Dixon played a healthy amount of slot corner for Penn State and turned into one of the better blitzers on the team last season. While you don't normally think of cornerbacks as pass rushers, Dixon tallied 3 sacks last season in Diaz's pressure packages. That makes him a valuable piece of the puzzle this season. He's also got the flexibility to play in pure slot coverage and not just as a sub-package pass rusher. Duck joins the Nittany Lions to provide veteran experience and depth behind King and Dixon. Expect to see him play plenty this spring as he integrates into the defense. Youth is short on the Penn State roster for corners, but the promising players behind the trio of starters stand out. Cam Miller impressed the staff enough to burn his red shirt last season and has continued to put himself in position for playing time on defense and special teams this spring. Freshman Elliott Washington is a physically mature player well beyond his years and may be one of the most physically mature players at his position to come to Penn State. At 200 pounds, he's bigger than some of the team's safeties right now. If he can show enough mental growth within the system, he could see playing time like Miller did last year. That does it for Penn State Two-A-Days. I'm Thomas Frank Carr. For more Penn State spring football coverage, head over to BlueWhiteIllustrated.com. New members can sign up now for $10 and get 4 months of access. While you're at it, subscribe to Blue White Illustrated here on YouTube. That one's free.